Last week, I was at Jiffy Lube, waiting for my car to be done with its oil change. And I was sitting next to this older guy, late 60s at least. And after building a little bit of rapport, he shared with me that he was recently divorced unexpectedly. And he had to move into an apartment a few blocks from his house that he lived in for most of his married life. And he started to express a whole lot of sadness. Once he felt the rapport and he felt comfortable in the conversation, he started to tell me how sad he was, how he missed his kids. And this was a heartbreaking story. Now, I don't know any of the backstory. I don't know any of the reasons why they got divorced. Maybe he was the worst husband ever. Who knows? But this is a sad story. And stories like these are stories that a lot of guys use as an excuse to stay out of the game. Now, if you're somebody who's actively dating and you meet some girl, you start dating each other, you're in a semi-monogamous relationship, and she starts talking about marriage, and you say, you know what, I'm never going to get married, and you give her the reasons why, because the unfair divorce system in the country today, and that's your reasons, and she says, well, I want to get married, I guess we're incompatible, and you kind of go your separate ways. That's a legitimate thing to say if you're actively dating and you don't want to get married because of what might happen. But if you're on the sidelines and you don't want to get in the game because you're gaming all the way out to the potential worst case scenario endpoint, and that's why you don't want to get in the game, that is more of a cope to cover up some other reasons why you don't want to get in the game. Now, certainly the dating market is incredibly complex today. It is fraught with danger. It is an absolute dumpster fire. The dating market is filled with horrifically low quality people that are only looking for the next hookup, and it's kind of ruining our culture. But dating is still a very good hobby. It's a very fantastic hobby. Sure, you have to sort through a whole lot of crappy people, but if you do happen to find somebody that you can spend just a little bit of time with, that is a wonderful experience. And not getting in the dating market because you don't want to deal with the crap you need to deal with to get to those wonderful experiences, I think you're selling yourself short. Even if you don't really find very wonderful experiences, just getting in the dating market without any expectations is a fantastic proxy for self-improvement. If you have the goal of finding and having a few dates with compatible people, in order to get there, you will have to improve your social skills. You will have to improve your conversational skills. You will have to improve your room reading skills. You'll have to improve your people reading skills. And this can all be done without any risk whatsoever. Sure, there's going to be a little bit of an emotional risk when you talk to somebody and they might not be interested in you, but that's always been true. It's always been a risk to talk to somebody you're romantically interested in. It's never been a sure thing. But for some reason, a lot of people today have this idea, maybe because of the internet, maybe because of social media, that I can get the things I want in life without having to do any work. That's never been true. The more valuable something is, the more worth something is doing, the harder it is going to be to get that thing. And if you do want to eventually find somebody and get married with and stay with, there are things to avoid and there are things to do. And if you do these things and avoid these things, they will significantly increase your chances of not getting screwed over in a divorce. What to avoid is thinking that anything is set and forget. And that's the problem a lot of people have today. They get into a relationship and they think that's it. Now that I've got a girlfriend, now that I've got a boyfriend, now that I've got a husband, now that I've got a wife, I don't have to do anything. I can just cruise on with my life and my relationship will take care of itself. That is a recipe for disaster. Another thing to avoid is any kind of should thinking. A lot of people have this expectation of how other people should behave just because. And if they don't behave that way, then they're doing something wrong. But if you're in a relationship, you have to articulate your expectations. You have to articulate your boundaries. You have to be willing to compromise. You have to be willing to negotiate. Most people can't do that. Most people can't have emotionally deep conversations. That's one of the problems with modern dating. It's not that the market itself is broken, it's we individually are broken. We don't have a lot of social skills. We don't have a lot of capability to talk about deeply emotional, intense things and ideas and feelings. But if you do want to create a relationship and maintain the relationship, you need to realize it is absolutely not set and forget. Our instincts believe it is set and forget, because back in the old days, the external society, the nature of society, essentially forced us to stay in the relationship. There wasn't any other option. But because getting out of a relationship is so easy today, you need to maintain it as much as you can. It's kind of like our health and weight loss. Back in the day, you couldn't get fat if you tried because the external environment constrained what we could eat. But today, it's very easy to get fat. So if you want to stay healthy today, you need to actively manage your diet. If you want to create a healthy relationship, you need to actively manage your relationship. How do you do that? Realize that it's going to be always a compromise, always a collaboration. You need to articulate your boundaries. You need to articulate your expectations, and you need to see this as an ongoing process. But the biggest thing people don't do today is they don't sort at all. Most people, if they find someone that's physically attractive and that person likes them, that's okay. That's all they need. And they get into a relationship with that person and expect it to work out. But most people have crap insides. It's like those chocolates in those old boxes of See's candies. You look at the outside, it looks good, but some of them have stuff on the inside that's kind of gross. So you have to look at the answer key at the top to figure out which ones to eat. Similarly, when you talk to people, you have to hold back your instinctive attraction and try to wonder what kind of personality they have. In order to properly sort people, you need to have some non-physical qualities that are red flags and green flags, their personality traits, how much debt they have, what their parents are like, what their social reference circle is like. And this takes a lot of time. This takes a lot of work. You need to sort through a lot of people. You need to go on dates with a lot of people. You need to have conversations with a lot of people until you find someone that is compatible with you on a personality level, not just a physical level. That takes work. That takes time. And most people today are very lazy. But if you want a relationship, you can get one. Just realize it's going to take a lot of work to get a relationship, and it's going to take a lot of work to keep and maintain a relationship. But because a healthy, mutually supportive relationship is a wonderful adjunct to a happy life. It's a wonderful asset to have. It's one of the necessary things you can build to create a happy life. It's worth going after. If you've read the book or if you've heard about the book, The Millionaire Next Door, where they studied millionaires and tried to reverse engineer what the common traits are among millionaires, one of the common traits is their choice of spouse. Their choice of spouse, which means you need to have a plan for your life. You need to have a plan of where you're going and sort through people that are not only compatible on a personality-wise, but are compatible to help you get your goals, and you can help them get their goals. That takes a lot of work, but on the process of getting there, all of the things that you'll need to learn to get that will help you in all other areas of your life. So dating, looking for a romantic partner is a difficult thing to do. It's fraught with danger, it's fraught with risk, but it's also one of the best collection of skills that you can master. And if you get to the end and find that person, that can be the one thing that helps you get everything you want in life.